When Stellar Blade came out a couple years ago, there was a whole lot of controversy around the game because of Eve's body and face. People on the internet were crying and screaming about the fact that the body proportions weren't realistic, that they were sexualizing the character, and then thankfully Shift Up CEO just straight up showed the model and even showed the body scan of the model for Eve, and that just shut everybody up. So when Stellar Blade bloodrain 2 came out, I was expecting, when that came out was announced, I was fully expecting another cry fest on the internet. And as per usual, the internet does not disappoint, because now Stellar Blade bloodrain's protagonist looks like a kid, so it's gross to see her sexed up in the trailers. Before we get into it, my name is Isaac. If you could drop a like, comment, and subscribe, that would be fantastic. Now, without further ado, let's continue. As soon as it was shown last night during the Summer Games Fest, Stellar Blade bloodrain's protagonist came under the shadow of over-sexualization in video games, which I don't even know why that term exists. It's a video game. These people are not real. Y'all are crying for nothing. Especially in certain cultures that extends these adult ideals to literal children. Now, I'm going to discuss this a bit more in depth later, but this is seriously like a Western problem. Evie, the protagonist of Stellar Blade bloodrain, which was apparently heavily inspired by Battle Angel Alita, appears front and center in the game's new trailer, which was revealed during SGF last night. At best, the character appears around 15 years of age, judging by her facial structure, with a body not too far removed from Eve of the original Stellar Blade title, shapely and sexualized. Now, my issue with this entire statement is that the people that are complaining are mostly Western wokey journos that are just complaining about a beautiful, youthful character. And what these Westerners don't understand is that people from different countries, from different areas in the world, age differently. And as much as I love to bring race into this, I guess, white people age the fastest, right? Y'all just age like cottage cheese. That's just the reality of the situation. Not all of you, but most of you. When it comes to Asian people, they stay in their youthfulness for long. When it comes to black people, we stay looking youthful longer. I'm 32 years old and I still get carded in places I go. Now, here are a few pictures of a couple of random women who are Korean in their 30s and 20s. This is what they look like over there. Are you telling me that an entire country, because they have youthful looking women, that the men in those countries are automatically PDF files? Is that what you're saying? That they're a PDF file just because they like the women in their country? That's what the people over there look like. Now, for example, if someone like me, born in Canada, goes to Korea, and I'm like, oh, I love Korean women because they look so youthful, yeah, that is creepy. But if you're a Korean person, and you live and grew up in Korea, and you find Korean women beautiful, and they happen to look youthful, that is what you call normal. It's you over there, the modern audience, this activism that is infected gaming, so disgustingly so that I might add. It's your insecurities, your weirdness, your obsession with sexualizing everything you guys see that makes you see everything like this. She has the body of an adult, she has the voice of an adult, and yes, her face does look young. And I'll even admit there are some angles where even myself, I was like, ooh, y'all are playing with fire. But then you look at her from different angles and you see, oh, this is just an Asian person in their 20s. So to see all of this outrage, honestly, this is just a whole nothing sandwich as per usual. This is just another hit campaign, and it's a hit campaign. Why? Because the game isn't from a Western studio or from a Japanese infected Western studio. Do you guys notice that whenever a game that comes from China or from Korea, there's always some kind of hit piece, there's always some kind of problem? They're always talking about, oh, can you believe the developers said this? Can you believe the character looks like that? Why don't you guys ever talk about how good the game looks? Why don't you guys ever talk about the gameplay? Why is it always some weird political activist angle that you guys are constantly going to? Well, I'm gonna tell you this. It didn't work with Stellar Blade 1. It's not gonna work with Stellar Blade bloodrain. That kind of went off.
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
The article continues to say that in some cultures, especially in East Asia, there is an obsession with over-infantilization of the grossest kind. And we see them most prominent in anime and manga, where sexualized underage characters show up almost constantly. This spilled over to the industry of every kind and created an atmosphere where these childlike characteristics are treated as a desirable visual element. Now, this is how you know the writer for this article is retarded, because anime and manga is Japanese. It is not Korean, okay? And Japanese manga is mostly targeted towards teenagers, okay? That the shonen means for boys. Shoujo means for girls. So obviously, if you're going to make a manga targeted at teenagers, you're gonna make a story with teenagers in them. And you know what teenage boys like? They like teenage girls. That's just how it goes. On the other side though, if you look at Korean manhwa, not manga, most of the characters in those shows, in those books, are young adults or adults. Solo Leveling, that is a Korean show. Jin-woo is in his 20s. Okay, and guess what? The characters are not sexualized at all. So this journalist, you guys can't see it, but I'm putting quotation marks up. This journo didn't even do the homework to differentiate between Korean developers, Korean culture, and Japanese culture. And this just proves to show you that it is absolutely 100% pointless to give any of your time, energy, or even listen to these retarded journalists. Bro, calling this thing a manga. And you know, I'm not the only one that feels this way, because many players from Korea and Japan argue that global players were just not used to her look. They pushed back on the criticism, saying she was being compared to Western standards. Regardless, Shift Up has now spoken up about Eevee's appearing so young, and it's to give the character a more defined look and personality. That's what I've been trying to explain this whole video, is that these journos, that these games activist journalists, they keep judging Korea, China, Japan through a Western lens. And it's not their fault or my fault that y'all pump yourselves full of chemicals and inject your faces with God knows what, and then look 45 by the time you're 25. And a lot of other countries in the world just stay youthful for significantly longer. That's what it is, honestly. You know what this feels like to me? This just feels to me like a bunch of fat, ugly, single, lonely Karens are not happy that the chuds are getting another hot female protagonist. That's gonna be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm tripping? Let me know in that comment section. Before you dip, like, share, subscribe, because that would make me super duper happy. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Let's hit 500 subs.